I just realized that.
Hey, but why don't you go and exchange it and get a proper one for them instead?
I like it, it's nice. You should keep it. Don't you think so?
No, but the money is for them.
No, we're going to make it work. I'll get more.
Don't get this thing complicated. Hello viewers and welcome to a brand new week. My name is Mariah Afolabi Brown and welcome to Your View with me and my lovely co-host. Let's start with Uwa. How are you doing?
I'm good.
You and Tokwe looking very bright this morning. How was your weekend?
Very well, thank you. We had
Anything
fun.
stand out?
Yeah, we
What did you
had fun.
You and who? Family?
You and my family always. all
That's
the time.
nice. You don't hang out with your friends, just family.
Yeah, I always hang out with my
Yeah,
family.
She's very close to us. There are three sisters,
My
so they are
sisters
very,
and
very...
with our children all together, so we went
That's
out.
cool. I always miss that. I wish I had lots of sisters because I grew up like an only girl with my mom and everything. So it's so hard to, it's just me and my brothers. And it's like, I don't have that sister thingy. It's just cool
The
though.
boys are not fun, trust me.
The boys are fun.
Who told you that?
The boys are, I mean, I have only one brother, but he's always fun to hang around.
Yeah.
And I have sisters too.
Six.
When you have children
No,
and he's
I
married.
have three sisters and a brother. So.
All right. So how was your weekend, Sansi?
Well, my weekend, contrary to what I had planned, my weekend was lazy, so I just had a lot of me time, and I decided to just ditch the local news and watch a lot of what is going on in the international world. The unrest in Ukraine and Syria and French President Holland, you know, getting
football
divorced.
Right.
But yeah, I was
That
actually
was
getting to that,
outstanding.
that there was a lot of bad news. The only good news that I saw during the
Was the
weekend was the fact
Morocco-Nigeria
that
match.
exactly we won 4-3. That was
good.
just it.
Hey, Tokwe, how are you doing?
I'm fine. I had me and my children weekend.
Yes.
It was war. It wasn't. It was a whole lot of work, and I was
Stop
about
saying
to.
it was war.
That's what
I
I wanted
mean,
to
I don't
say.
understand.
Confess
That's-
positive, please.
It was
Great.
war in a positive way. As in, we were playing, we were tumbling around, we were
You're very-
pulling.
you're
Don't go
just
there, come
spoiled.
here. Don't go here, come here. I think I used to try to like dodge being alone at home, because when you don't have anybody, I can't say I want to go and quickly get something. As if we go to toilets together, they follow me everywhere. So it's a whole lot of.
I hate leaving my child at home. Honestly, I hate the fact that somebody else has to take care. I hate the fact that she's clinging to somebody else. I hate the fact that somebody else is so close. So I hate that. I just want to be there with her. I just want it to be me all the way.
Something happened yesterday that drove that. I saw in the newspaper yesterday that 14th of February is the presidential election next year. So all of you that are planning to get married on 14th of January,
We'll get to that
14th
later.
of February next year.
Don't jump the gun here. We'll get into that discussion very
no
soon.
wedding party or
But
Valentine.
let's go to our news mention very quickly. Lagos State Assembly passes Consumer Protection Bill. This bill is to establish the Consumer Protection Agency and to provide for the protection of the interest of consumers into law. Now, I don't know if you guys remember the CPC guy that was here. I think two of them came at different times. And we didn't feel very protected. Now, Lagos State is doing a law, right, to protect us as consumers. But I think it goes beyond just them doing that law. We need people who are actually going to buy into that vision and really protect the people. Because, as I said, going back to that show we had with these two, we didn't feel like they actually understood what they were supposed to be doing for us.
But one of the things that happened during that show was that it was clear that people don't go and report situations to them. When it is reported to them, they will work on it. We need to own every law. We need to report the situations. When we see somebody is infringing on our rights or we're buying things that are not good quality, report to the people that should help you out. If you don't, the law won't help you defend you if you don't let them know there's something wrong somewhere. That's what I feel.
You know, I don't think this law is new. I don't think it's, well, maybe it's relevant to some people, but I actually don't see how relevant it is to me, because it doesn't change the fact that when I go to the market, I always demand to know information. Has it expired or not? If it's not, I reserve the right.
I hear where Tokwa is coming from.
But if someone consistently sells expired products, you bought things twice and it's expired, then you report to the company. If you don't, there's nothing, the person just get away with it.
No, many a times, most of these expired products, because I deal with products as well, skincare. If from the shipping point, usually their stock is being delayed at the customs, and the job of the custom is actually to check what comes into the country. We don't check all those things, and you end up with substandard products. So I think,
very quickly, let's mention very clearly about the Grammys happened over the weekend. Unfortunately, Femi did not win. Femi Kuti did not win again, but. You know what? It's a big deal to be nominated. It's a big deal to be there. I mean, there are lots of American top actors and actresses and musicians that have nominated about 10, 15 times, and yet they never got
Leo DiCaprio.
You know? So I know he was nominated 4 times, and this is the 4th, but it doesn't matter. The fact
that someone is being recognized outside this country on a grand scale such as Grammys is a good thing for us, whichever way we look at it.
It's huge.
And I think he's the only Nigerian in that category.
Yeah, we're really proud of him anyway, regardless. So I know,
and
I know that we miss her so much, man. The whole of last week we didn't see her. All right, we have a great lineup for you. When we come back, we're going to go through the front pages. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We're going to start with the Nation. I'm so used to saying the Punch. With the Nation this morning. All right, major headline, 17 PDP senators to join APC. Mark to get notice of defection this week, says Saraki. That means that currently PDP 73, APC 33, Labour 2, APGA 1. Now, if that happens, as Saraki has said, PDP will have 56, APC 50, Labour 2, and APGA 1. So the numbers will get closer. Muazu visits Obasanjo. Tinubu slams Clark over attack on Yoruba. Oh no, power supply drops by 300 megawatts. Fayemi, I'll seek re-election, names campaign team. And APC directive to lawmakers, fruitful. Okay, and of course our boys won the match. We'll discuss that very quickly. All right, let's talk about this
power.
Okay, let's start with the power, because that one is affecting us directly.
I cannot imagine again.
I've not had lights all weekend. That's why I couldn't watch the match. I was so pained because I had to be home with my daughter and everything. I just couldn't go out and start looking for a place to watch match.
The annoying part, the annoying part is currently we don't have enough. We have barely enough power supply. Then it now drops further. Then what's going on? It's annoying. And well, they backed it up that they have.
No, they had the Roro Dam has been shut down because it's under maintenance.
Yeah.
And I
can imagine
my own challenge is, for me, I don't really see the privatization playing out well, like I thought.
I think it's too early.
It's too early.
No, I don't think so. I don't think they're already giving us new bills, Mariah, for goodness sake. They've changed our billing.
Is that money that they're going to use to fix the problem?
Hold on, no. You're billing me for what? And you see, this going back to the old system would not work. Everybody should pay for what they are spending, you know, so don't just go and give me a calculated bill, an estimated bill, and say that I should pay. I don't see that these things, they are really working like we anticipated.
I think you should give them time.
Then the campaign.
Okay, let's talk about the 17 PDP senators to join APC. That's interesting.
53, 50. Yeah. They're just getting closer by the day.
Yeah.
56, 50. The only part I'm happy about concerning this is that for a long time we've not had what I'll call proper democracy, where we have two parties,
strong
strong parties, that the policies can be made and you know there's a healthy debate. You know, people would, you want to sell an idea to me and I say, no, I don't believe in it. Rather, what we've had before was where a party would make a decision in their party and just come over and say, yay or nay, yeas have it. Or then is the nay have it. But now we can actually have more voices being heard. It's good for us, whichever way I'm happy about it.
What's interesting about this story is the fact that Mark is actually still reluctant to declare their seats vacant. You know, they were flexing us last day.
It's illegal. They can't do it.
Still now, they've still not declared it vacant. I'm wondering, okay, what exactly were you
You should just calm down and wait till 2015.
I'm still having some
if they
doubts.
defect, it doesn't make their seats vacant.
Well,
right?
they say they're trying to
make that applicable right now.
Let's talk very clearly about Fayemi saying he'll seek re-election. He obviously has declared now.
Ekiti State Governor, right?
State Governor.
It is right.
The election is in June.
It's his right, considering that if he seeks re-election right now, it will be for a second term. And so far, when INEC released the calendar for 2015 elections, that automatically gives them a go-ahead to declare your political intentions.
Right.
So
let's move on to Vanguard. Major headline: government shutdown. Presidency dares APC. Threatens security measures against party. Directive to our lawmakers stands. That's Lai Mohammed. Senate remains non-partisan, says Ndoma Egba, and directive capable of truncating democracy. That's Yakasi. Defection, Mark unwilling to declare senator seats vacant, just like I just said. Muazu Obasanjo in secret meeting. LCCI faults CBN over rise in cash reserve ratio. And Nigeria bleeds as $1.7 billion goes out weekly. Okay, let's talk about this Muazu and this secret meeting with Obasanjo. Why are they calling it secret meeting?
Because when they came out, they wouldn't disclose exactly
what concerns us with that. I mean, he had already said they were going to see Obasanjo, and we've already established the fact that Obasanjo is an elder statesman, right? And regardless of the issues going on, it was just maybe...
But I thought they had asked him to like hold on for time first, buy time a bit before he goes out to see
Okay, that was the advice.
Yeah, the elder statesman. But I think it's a good thing. But you know, I don't know. What is the benefit of Obasanjo right now to our democracy? Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to know. I know he's an important person.
That's an important question. Yeah. Maybe he's important to PDP. Maybe not to our democracy.
Not to our democracy.
No, well, you can't sit on this table. You can't sit on this table and say, what importance is Obasanjo? That's Obasanjo that you might feel it might not be very relevant to you as a person. It's relevant to them in Egba. It's relevant because it can give you access to kind of a class of people that you might not, the other people might not be able to walk up to. He's been an ex-president. He was a military president. That gives him enough clout to walk up to some people, make some decisions, gather people together, and they will respect him. He alone can hold meetings of people and they will respect his opinion. So like it or not, his presence in PDP would be good for them.
Well, true. Obasanjo is a very influential man, so I can actually understand why Mazu would decide to stay in a meeting for 2 hours with him, asking him that, you know, PDP needs his support at this time around. So did they tell us what he was going to ask? Well, Anamebo, of course, when there is a meeting, somebody always has to step out. And Yuba was part of the group that went with him. So they said
definitely
that the meeting,
for the progress of
meeting,
PDP now.
Well, all right, let's talk about this story.
The APC.
The representative dares APC. I guess that's because they say that they're threatening security measures against the party. Can they do that?
I've been saying it vocal about it. I'm impressed with the fact that APC is, we for once have a proper democracy where two parties are strong enough, yes. But when I heard that declaration, I was a little happy, but I thought about it again and said, we cannot afford to use politics and cripple the economy. We shouldn't. The economy needs to grow, and they must find a way to resolve it amicably.
So the fact that you now have trying to cripple the economy,
it might not be. It's good. I'm not saying it's not good, but I'm saying that don't just quickly go there flexing muscle. Let's put away our politics as opposed to policies.
I made a statement last week. I said insecurity, injustice in a particular place is threatening the justice of every other place. They can't continue with the injustice that is happening in River State and expect not to affect the whole of Nigeria. Okay. They should solve the problem. Right. So I don't think they're trying to cripple the economy.
All right, Daily Sun, major headline, boy from hell. 14-year-old kidnaps grandmom twice for 150,000 naira ransom. APC under fire over instruction to federal lawmakers. Pressure mounts on Jonathan to declare for 2015. Igbo will vote for President Uzodimma. And I'm not interested in Mark's job, but that's Saraki, and Mwazu visits Obasanjo. Okay, very quickly, boy from hell, what happened? Did anybody read that story?
He kidnapped his
grandmother.
his grandmother, I think last year, and he was paid a ransom. I think they gathered the ransom of about 4 million.
Wow.
And the gang gave him 150,000 as his own cut. You know, I think so. He was trying to kidnap her again the second time.
Get the money.
His
grandmother was rich then.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Very influential grandmother.
That boy must really lack home training. That's one.
Is it home training or misplaced values?
It's all from the family.
All part of the same thing.
It's all from the family. If things are wrong, if you don't have love and compassion for your grandmom, or you bond with her in such a way that you don't want her to get any way arm's way, and you can easily ask her for money and she'll give you, you would not want to go and kidnap her in order to get money. How much is the point of it? Anyone that can afford to pay 4 million as ransom can easily afford to give his grandchild, a grandchild, 150,000 naira. If he defends it well enough.
What will the 14-year-old boy be doing with the 150,000?
The point Papa is making is that if you have that money, then your child should not be seeking ransom
to get it
and then kidnap.
So maybe we need to dig the real story to know what happened.
So there's more to that story than just him kidnapping the grandmother. All right, moving on to the final paper this morning. That's The Guardian. Controversy rages over APC's move to block Jonathan's bill. Opposition party condemns critics, say order yielding results. Reps may expunge indigenship from constitution. I wish I read that story. Boko Haram suspects arrested in Rivers. Saraki denies eyeing Mark's job. APGA faults INEC 2015 poll timetable. And AU begins defining continental agenda for 50 years, for the next 50 years. Yeah, I think the cross-section of Igbobi College, Yaba, 1959 to 1963. Okay, pictures of old boys. All right, so I think more on this controversy over APC's move to block Jonathan's bills. As I said, flexing a bit of muscles here, but as Dr. rightly said, it's a stronger democracy where we have two strong parties and going at each other. But what's important to me is that regardless of when the elephants are fighting, we suffer. So they need to just have constructive arguments, constructive
all the debates that they
so that we benefit, not that they're trying to politicize the whole thing. We love what we're seeing, but make it productive. Don't just
all the budgets they've released in the past, what have they used it for? So
let them suspend.
Let them suspend 2014 budget for now, and let's see things get better.
You have no idea.
You are saying exactly what I was saying should not happen. Yes, all the budgets they've approved in the past, we've not really seen, right? Now, you saying you're not going to let them pass 2014, but is it because you don't want them to?
I didn't say they should not pass. I said they should hold on.
They should hold on.
They should hold on.
So what will solve the problem?
No, we need to start seeing government, governance rather. In River State right now, I think it's looking like Izumbu that is the governor and no longer Amechi.
No, he decides Wike is the governor. Wike.
No, he decides where Amechi goes through and all that.
Wike is the
I'm not supporting anybody, but what I'm saying, I'm happy that I'm seeing things, All
right, we need to move on. We need to move on, unfortunately. That's a wrap on Front Page Review. Up next, we're going to discuss Jega. Don't expect perfect elections in 2015. That's what he said. And later on Let's Talk, the right of expression. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back. The chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Atahiru Jega, has allegedly lamented that the greatest challenge towards the conduct of free, fair, and credible elections in Nigeria is politicians' do-or-die attitude to winning. This, he said, has greatly undermined the electoral process and would impair 2015 elections if this mindset does not change. Now, is he right? What do you think about it? It's your view that it counts. You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can tweet to us at YourViewTVC. We'd like to hear your thoughts on this matter. Now, Jega is saying categorically that, listen, our politicians are the ones, really, that are responsible for any of these violent or poor outcome of the 2015 elections. What do you think about that?
I think that Jega, absolutely, I totally agree with him, because a lot of times, as much as we all are fighting for INEC to be totally independent like NPC, but you cannot rule out the fact that these politicians, they have this do or die thing about elections going on, that I must win, I have to win, and then if I don't win, I just have to win some way. So to a huge extent, that, you know, contributes to the crisis we have during elections.
Politicians, are we?
Politicians, they do have a lot to do with it.
Let me tell you something. It's not about it. I still feel that it's a systemic problem. There's nobody that is not hungry for power. But when you have the right system and there are, what's it called, consequences for certain actions, everybody will behave themselves. First of all, the government, they have made federal government and state government levels, governance, they made it so lucrative that a lot of people now look at it that is a do or die affair. If certain things are put in place, there are fundamentals. Nobody will struggle to go and kill yourself because I need to win an election. Okay,
let's go into the election process itself, because Jega has come up with a timetable saying that I think the presidential is 14th, as you said before. The House of the governorship and the others are, I think, 28th of February. But this year, we're having the Ekiti State and Osun State. Osun is August 9th, I believe, and Ekiti is
June 21st.
So the governor of Ekiti has already declared. We're waiting for Osun State to declare his own. What are your thoughts on this timetable matter?
For me, the timetable, it's not really about the timetable. You can put the governorship before the presidential, you can put the president before governorship. It's about the fact that our votes should count.
Yeah, but let me pause you. The reason why I ask that question is because the parties are complaining that they did not involve them in making that decision of the timetable. So do you think they should be involved, or do you think it's actually Jega's jurisdiction to make that
I strongly believe it is within Jega's jurisdiction. I feel that if you involve the parties, everybody will be fighting for what they feel is in their best interest. And INEC is supposed to be the neutral, independent umpire, and they should be the ones to handle how it should go, where it should go. But Jega's statement saying that we shouldn't expect, for me as a leader, you must forecast positively. Yeah, it might seem being prophesying, but you must have a vision that this would work well. Say it, don't prepare us for the worst. Don't prepare us to begin to think that. You might be factual, but when you make it clear that I will not settle for less, if I have seen any form of, like P said, if I see any form of things going wrong, anybody cutting corners, they would get consequences for negative action. That way, people already have in their mind that we don't play around with this.
But you know, honestly, we say this now, but if peradventure he had prophesied positively that this is going to happen, promised us all sorts of Christmas wish lists, and then 2015 and everything collapses, wouldn't you say that this man is just bragging? I think it's a beautiful thing that he's getting us prepared for the worst. As much as I would tell him, Jega, you really need to do a lot more. You need to put in a lot more effort so Nigeria would have a credible election. But for 2015,
I don't want my leader preparing me for the worst.
The fact that he's saying it right now does not rule out the fact.
I'm really confused. Wait, one second, Sansi, because I don't want to talk on the surface. Isn't this thing more than Jega? Because the truth is that he's telling us right now, it's actually the politicians that causes these unrest or this violence that happens during the election period.
It's about malpractices.
Malpractices.
Yes.
So shouldn't we be addressing our discussions to the politicians? Shouldn't we talk directly to them to ensure? Because Jega really is handicapped. The best he can do is get you the boxes and the voting what they call that thing, ballot boxes and all that. Get everything in place.
If there are strong
people
penalties
choose to be unruly, there's nothing he can do about that.
If there are strong penalties, I understand what he's saying. There must be strong consequences for negative actions. The politicians use people within his organization that he has control over. He's the head of that organization. No politician will go and forge or do commit election malpractices without involving an INEC person or INEC
Thanks for bringing
personnel.
us to
So
that.
you must ensure that your personnel are facing actions, prison, jail terms if possible, preferably safe.
Me, I'm even confused right now. See, Murayo, Jega has said his own bit. But like I still said before, there need to be a system where certain things are put in place. Then we'll now see all these things playing out. Although my thoughts are, because remember when Donald Duke came here, he said that we only have political platforms. Now, if, for instance, a party evolves to become president in 2015, before the gubernatorial elections, what do you think will happen between the space of electing that president to the time of where the government...
Two full weeks.
Where, you know, a lot of people will just move to the winning party platform.
Let me take Olajide.
I think...
Good morning, Olajide.
Good morning, Morayo and everybody.
Morning.
Please, can you categorically invite this professor to us? Let us come and tell us what is the mean by this. We cannot expect positive something in Nigeria.
I didn't get that.
You should invite the professor to come and tell us what
Professor
it means.
Jega, right? Okay.
Okay, can you? This man, as the professor, is the chairman that everybody is looking for. Why is he telling us that he cannot be expect after the election in 2015? That is negative part in Nigeria. As a professor of holding in Nigeria of electoral matching, can you invite him? Let him come and tell us what is meant by that. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah.
He wants you to invite Jega to
he's saying that everybody is expecting more from Jega. Really, we are all expecting more from him. And he shouldn't just play me this tune so that we will not blame him. He'll say, well, I already told you, it is not my own fault.
Well,
it is the politician's fault. It
is
is the politician's fault.
In fairness to Jega, as I said before, there's really nothing he can do if the politicians are there going to bribe his people. Going there,
his people should go to jail.
I'm shocked you're saying
if his people goes to jail, if
politicians must be resolute, they must ensure
you
that
cannot control other people. You can't control them.
The politicians are desperate. You cannot control the politicians.
So where will we get the people, the credible people to actually manage the credible people. Ballot boxes?
You need a credible system.
You need a credible system, right?
Now, when you already put the system on ground, saying that this person is found, is a culprit, any culprit found in any way, malpracticing in any form, so is going to go to 10 years imprisonment. They won't pay you 10 million to get it.
Is this our manual system?
You can't. We got video recordings last time. We saw video recordings. We did not see the end of the investigation because the structure on ground does not permit people that corrupt to go to prison and serve their term one way or the other. Right. We saw videos.
Even though we have manual electoral process, which we are hoping to make it digital at some point, but obviously we can't make it digital.
After
now, because it's still manual right now, we're saying that Jega should put measures in place to protect or to ensure that there's no violence, right? That's what we're saying.
It's not just violence, malpractice. There's no corruption.
Our
a politician will always remain. Sorry, a politician will always remain desperate because, of course, they are hungry for power, and power we know power corrupts. You know. So the thing is, he has the power to make sure that certain things are not done in a wrong way.
Let me take AB's call from Agbeda. Good morning, AB.
Hello, morning.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to contribute concerning what she said. Delay at the extreme. I don't know my name.
Talk by.
She was saying something like Jega, kind of a turnout. If you look at turnout, doesn't work in Nigeria. How many people have stolen money? Even with the turnout, nothing happens. I think Jega himself is doing work. Like what you said, nobody is perfect on earth. It's only God that is perfect. So he will act based on human disease.
Interesting. Okay. Well, just like she said, the guy is not perfect himself. But
see, we can't keep saying all these things for goodness sake. Everybody can do the same thing. The law only recognizes the one that they catch. If you get somebody and you say, I have caught this person and I want to hang this person, forget about whether every other person have been making, stealing money or whatever. Let us start getting people right now, starting from now.
There's just Olukobi Abiodun says, why would Jega say we shouldn't expect perfect election? Is it that there are some things he doesn't want to tell Nigerians? Let's look at it. If he already sees things that he knows would depict failure on our part, like, okay, the politicians are going to do this, politicians are going to do that, then you do your own part. As a leader, your job is to do risk management.
What's he going to do?
Cover up for the loss.
No, I think I'm not being. I don't think we're being fair on the Jega, really. I don't think we're being fair on the guy.
Right.
Let me take Wisdom's call. Then we'll come to Sansi. Good morning, Wisdom. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I think Jega was trying to get a soft landing on them. And I think the statement from the salesman issue looks things of getting a perfect election for us. And looking at the money that's going to be spent for this election, one should not expect less of a man like Jega. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Please go to our Facebook page. There are more comments can come in. Please go to our Facebook page.
Can I say something? Should we direct the responsibility of a free and fair election to the people? Let me tell you why. Because politicians do their bit, just like you said, they're desperate, they want the power. Jega does his bit manually. Now we the people say, you know what? We are sticking by our votes. We are saying we're taking responsibility. After I vote, I stand there to let them count it, and I know how many votes were counted, and I follow it to the, what's the next day? Is it the local government council? Ensure that this, we as people also take responsibility. Right. So even though the politicians are doing their own bit, bribing people here and there, we know what we stand by what we voted.
We did that last year. Can I say something? We did that last year. If Jega will say, okay, no more closed doors, coalition of
coalition,
we will have a perfect number. I will stand there, they will count my vote, and by the time they want to transfer it to the big sheet, that is where the missing number starts to happen.
That is
what he has the power to
control external forces.
He has the power to change it if he wants to. No, we don't need any closed door, anything. We are tired of closed doors. Closed doors have put us in this mess in the first place. Okay. So let us gather the result. I will stand, I will count my vote, then let them collate the result in my presence.
So everybody has a responsibility.
Yes.
Jega, the people, and the politicians.
Everybody. And the politicians.
We all have responsibilities.
Yes,
all right. Up next, right of expression. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Everybody say yeah, yeah.
Welcome back. Media reports claim that the former minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Malam Nasir El-Rufai's house was raided by the Department of State Security for ignoring an invitation to its office. The DSS had invited El-Rufai to its headquarters last Thursday to clarify a statement he allegedly made. The next elections are likely to be violent and many people are likely to die. That's according to El-Rufai. This raid by the DSS has called into question the right of expression in Nigeria. Joining us to shed more light on these two gentlemen, we have Barrister Tony Ofeyeton, who is a security expert, and Libros Oshoma, a political analyst, who will answer some questions regarding the 2015 election. Welcome to the show, sirs.
Thank you.
Right.
Liboros, not Libros.
Liboros.
Yes.
Where did that come from? What's the origin of that name? I never heard of it.
It's of Catholic origin.
Catholic, okay, because I was wondering.
Means open-minded person.
Oh, fantastic. So if you're open-minded, all right, what are your thoughts on this Jega matter? This one that...
Yes, you see the press, especially the print media,
yes.
You know, they're doing us a lot of disservice. Most times, that's why you hear politicians say we're quoted out of context. What Jega said was, we are not where we were, which is true, but we are not where we ought to be. So there are challenges that we are going to face, you know, before the next elections. And so we will try to curb some. And then the next day, the paper shouted, Jega said, don't expect perfect elections. And so now we're taking that statement out of context. Jega is making excuses for himself. We all know that these challenges are with us. We are not where we ought to be. And also, we all know elections, it's not for INEC alone. It's not for the politicians alone. If we are not prepared and if we don't change our attitude towards this whole process, we'll continually have the same results.
Thank you for that. I want us to come to talk about this right of expression, and I come to Barrister Tony, because maybe she will help me. I should start with what the Constitution says about the right of expression, because there's this thin line between what is libel and what is right and what is scandalous and what, you know, you can hear all sort of adjectives on the papers. What El-Rufai said, was it wrong? And the fact that the SSS called him about it, was it infringing on its own rights of expression?
Let's start from Chapter 4 of the Constitution. Clearly states all the fundamental human rights that the average Nigerian is entitled to, of which you have, of course, the right of expression, to air your mind, to say your mind. But, of course, there's no absolute right anywhere. Your right to say anything you choose to say is limited by, you know, defamation, either in form of slander or in form of libel. And, of course, talking about national security issues, it's also limited to the fact that it is not instigating, it is not inciting.
Was this inciting?
Well, if you ask me, I may not be able to say yes or no. But if you go by antecedents, precursor to immediately after the Jonathan election, so many politicians made certain statements that Nigeria will be ungovernable. Yes. And incidentally or coincidentally, Nigeria today is ungovernable. And if you look at it from that perspective, I think to the extent that he made that statement, which was also very, very raw, so raw, to the extent that you are saying that it's going to be a bloodshed thing, it's going to be very violent. It's too absolute to be categorized as freedom of expression, especially from a man at his own level and category.
Okay, let me throw it out, Mr. Libros. Do you agree with that? What are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts are slightly different from his. If that statement comes from me, nobody will arrest me. Nobody will ask me any questions. Because it is the way politicians are going with this campaign of calumny and desperation, whether you like it or not. If we don't take time, we're sitting on a keg of gunpowder. And the way we're going, we're gradually preparing a recipe for chaos. And if we don't take time, it's going to implode or explode in our face. And so some people are going to die, whether you like it or not, if we continue like this. And coming from somebody at that level, also you would look at it from the point of view that some people need to hear is this man had spoken. that we should go and
don't you
die.
respect
Because it is always very convenient for us to take statements out of context. And also, security agents, for me, when you are invited for questioning, interrogation, simple. If the police invite me, I know how many times I've been invited, come clarify some certain statements you made on air. You go there quietly and you explain your... It is when they now delay you beyond, you know, a certain limit that we now begin to cry foul.
Oh, so I think you're saying that El Rufai should have actually gone.
He should have forbade them. This is a constituted authority. Just go. And then it is when you are delayed beyond a certain limit, then you can now begin to say, I want to enforce my fundamental human right.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but deciding not to go at all. He was a man in authority, was minister, so he knows what that means. And so I would not sit down here to say, look, the police or the SSS shouldn't have invited him. Including, apart from El Rufai, I think also people like Asari Dokubo ought to have invited also. People like Edwin Clark ought to have invited also.
I was going to go there.
Even Obasanjo, the ex-president, that wrote a letter. Yeah, you know, because... there were a lot of statements that were made.
That's where the question is coming from. So why?
So is this a witch hunting?
Is he being called up for arrest because he's a strong member of the opposition party?
The SSS had not said I wanted to arrest him. If they wanted to, they would go and arrest him in his house. But they are saying, look, come clarify something. I made this statement.
They didn't call
Okay, 1 second.
He had sued SSS. And that there's a case in court against SSS. And because of that, he's not going to honor their invitation. Except they are going to arrest him. Then they will have to issue a warrant of arrest and come and arrest him. To that extent, he would not. Now, but having said so, I think I agree to the extent that, yes, there are so many people that have made more inciting statements in this country. If we are even talking of the ministers and the like, what of Asari Dokubo?
Yes,
I have a tweet. I have a tweet from him saying,
which was not only very direct, but of course from the antecedent of the young man, we know he has the capacity and capability to carry out whatever threat he issues. These are not mere threats. They are not statements from those of us that are called television analysts and all those stuff like that. I mean, you made a statement now that if there are some statements we will make, nobody will categorize it as anything. But if the like of Atiku says this country is going to be ungovernable, of course you should take him for that word. That is going to be ungovernable. And these are issues that I think, to that extent, I think that the DSS has not been fair.
Yes.
It has not
and
been
that's
fair
where our argument is, in that fairness.
If whatever is good for the good is good for the gander, if for any reason he has made a statement you categorize as inciting, the necessary thing was to have invited those that have made what statement before.
Let's
somebody said Asari Dokubo walks free, even when he said on national TV there will be bloodshed if Jonathan is not the president. Impunity. Now, you already explained the fact that they should have carried both, everybody that have said things that are in that nature should be carried along. So do you think that's not justification for a justification for El Rufai to say, I'm not going to attend because they are picking on me specifically for my party position?
Junad made a statement that if Jonathan drops his ambition, Boko Haram will be a thing of the past. He was not arrested, he was not invited. Obasanjo also said snipers are being trained. These are grave allegations. And
so do you think those ones are... Sorry, please, Mr. Liberos. Do you think that the things you've been mentioning now, as compared to what El Rufai said, which is more weightier?
No, I am coming to, I will answer your question, but I just want to lay a foundation. And so what you're gradually doing, you're building people who are superpowers, who are stronger than the state. And so at the end of the day, you would have people who cannot be called to question. They can make statements. And then if we say that we need to start from somewhere. I really don't care whether you arrested somebody before, but use somebody as a scapegoat. Unfortunately, if somebody's in your position. And then also telling me that because you have a case with them, and so you're not going to honor their invitation. It's immaterial. If you know you had a case with them, then you shoot your sword. You shouldn't be uttering statement like that in the first place.
Okay, all right.
I wanted to ask a question. We already know that the former president's letter is out in the public. That one is history now. Now, your newly elected PDP chairman the first thing he needs to do is to go and have secret talk with the same person that would now bring out something very weighty like that kind of letter. And you're saying that they should pick on they should pick
it's
someone.
Family affair.
Listen, I believe justice is supposed to be equality. If you want to start dealing with people, at least deal with the people that have even evidence. It's a different thing if it's a statement that was made. There's a letter. Is written, so you have a document that can back it up. Show me as my president that you are not biased and you don't
the moment you arrest, the moment you ask Obasanjo, you invite Obasanjo for questioning, it's the same line of thought that we're going to have. It's the same thinking. Why Obasanjo? Oh, because he came out to speak the truth. Oh, because he said it's corruption. That is why, and he already said it anyway, that some people have been listed for execution, and so that is why we are gradually doing. These politicians are gradually working on our psychic, and so whether we like it or not, before you know, we're taking side. Oh no, this one said it before. Don't do it.
I want us to, because we're going to be, there are two issues we're discussing here. We're talking about the election, Jega, we're talking about the RFI, and I'm going to be bouncing on both sides. For the issue on Jega, let's go there for a moment. Now, the political parties are saying they were not carried along on this on the dates and the schedule on the timetable. What are your thoughts on that? Because we're a bit worried, like, should they have been carried along?
Let me, I've had the opportunity and privilege of handling some electoral matters. And if I tell you what happens, you know, at that level, it's a different ball game altogether. The desperation of the political parties, the desperation of the politicians, you know, what do you have? You have a situation where you have the electoral umpire who prepares for the elections, but on the day of the election, the actual process is hijacked from them and handed over to ad hoc staffs, some NYSC and some clerks who were employed, some on that day, and who do not necessarily have attachment to the process, who you can conduct the election today and then leave, and even when the matters get to court, you are nowhere to be found. Sure. And so when all of this happens, in managing this process, you need to take a holistic view at all the issues. If you invite all politicians to discuss dates, you're never going to have a date.
Okay, let me pause because I have a call. Good morning, OSITA. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning, Maura.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. I want to say that politicians, both by making statements or whatever, they know what they are doing to themselves. Just like what the young man there said. He said if he is one that makes such statements, they will not arrest him. But at the same time, making such a statement from somebody like that is still a very strong issue that we have to look into, because the statement that the former president made, which we take lightly, I think is one of the problems we are facing today. So, but if they want to do things right, the DSS should, or the security agents should call people to order. Because so many people will make this, somebody like Obasanjo makes such statements, and nobody will go there. Somebody like Al-Qaeda, they will say, oh, maybe it's one of the area boys, we don't need to go to him, or something of that nature. So it's either they have something against the minister.
All right. Thank you, OSITA. Appreciate it. Yes, Sanzi.
Okay, so talking about this present case, I'm thinking of a couple of reasons why, because as we have said, there are a lot of other people who have made really terrible, insightful statements that they could have, you know, arrested them for. Now, I'm looking at possible reasons why he could have been wanted. Because he's a member of a strong opposition party, or because he is capable of carrying out those assumed threats on Twitter. Which do you think is the option?
He didn't trust everybody.
Let me start with
an inflammatory statement.
Both.
Exactly.
Both. One is of the opposition party. At his level too, if he chooses to carry out the threat, he is capable financially, in terms of human mobilization, in terms of the necessary connection. He is capable. Now, like he said, if any of us make such inciting statement, you want to look at our background. You want to look at what we are capable of doing. What is our followership? There was a time in the military era when Obasanjo, I think Abacha's aircraft was roving around the house of Wole Soyinka then. And Wole Soyinka made a statement there. He said the aircraft should stop within 24 hours or he will bring it down. Are you there with me? And truly the aircraft stopped. Now, why? Because it's discovered that it is possible. He has the capacity to bring it down if he chooses to bring it down. Now, if somebody like me says, stop, are you there with me? Now, so you will see that El-Rufai, like, he's been a minister. He's been in opposition. He has the financial capacity, in quotes, and he has the followership, so to say. Now, if you look at it from those angles, there's the good reason for SSS to say, please come. We need to further confirm if of a truth. Now, listen, no. I understand you. I share your passion. The issue will not be biased. If you can't do it for this, why are you doing for that?
At the end of the day,
said, no, whether we started previously or now, it has to start at a time.
I know the law says that anybody that is caught,
yes,
that is the person that they will start as scapegoat with.
Well, that's just the
problem. He has over 260,000 followers on Twitter.
No, you don't need, before you get there. If
I wanted to just let you know, 260,000 just on Twitter. That's a whole lot of people.
If you lived in the north, in Zaria then, what do you need to start a riot?
Nothing.
Just go into the mosque and say somebody insulted Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yeah.
And then the whole place will go up in flame.
That's true.
And so you really don't need, so when statements like these are uttered from that region, it is always also very, very important for such people to be secretly investigated. And also, if you lived in Bayelsa and the River State as is, it got to a point that some of us that grew up there, it was difficult for us to even travel back home because you'd be scared. Because it was the belief that those little boys you knew years back are now, you know, commanders and generals, you know. And so you can't underrate anybody. And so when Asari said, look, I have the capacity, I was there in the studio in one of the radio programs when he made that statement.
Imagine that.
And somebody called me and said, look, we are still sitting there. He said, I did it before and I can do it again.
Good morning, Shola. Are you there?
Good morning, ma.
Yes,
Good
go ahead.
Morning, sir. Good morning, Sister Tope. You are shared in political judgment now. Thank you. Meanwhile,
go ahead.
In Freetown, not everything that is free. And even when you fell into the well, it is well inside the well.
Yes, sir.
Politicians have their intrigues. This is when the game starts, and it has started in full. The Yoruba says, it is unfortunate that the PDP as a party don't have the machinery to fight the opposition. The propagandists are fully in operation in opposition, and I congratulate them with that. The game has started. Let us learn in the game. In America, it's like that, and it will continue until we grow into a level of political understanding. All right.
Thank you very much, Shola. I really appreciate it. Well, that goes back to what Tokwe was saying earlier, that we now have two strong opposition parties, and we're going to see a lot of fighting going on back and forth.
Intrigues, and then the media is going to be used perfectly well.
Well, see,
I want to read the tweets.
We'll go back to your tweets, but what we need to be careful about, even though that's going on, it has, like I mentioned before, it has to be constructive, because we can't, both parties can't use it for their own political interest.
No, forget about the construction. It's the people. You need to, the people need to elevate their psychic from this, oh, I will follow this one, or I'll follow that. If you issue a statement today and the people view it as not constructive enough, and then they don't follow you, then next time when you are issuing a statement, you will think constructively.
God bless you.
But when you issue such statements and they follow you sheepishly and slavishly, the tendency is there for you to continue in that.
So information, we'll come to talk right now. But information, for what you just said, yes, we have two strong political parties. But you see, we as the people have to be responsible. Yes. Say, okay, let us now decide for ourselves which one is better. All right, so let's take some tweets from you.
I'm reading a tweet from El-Rufai particularly, and he said, all we ask the SSS is to provide a warrant of arrest or authority to enter and search. They have provided none. Are they above the law?
No,
that's
I
from
think no.
El-Rufai himself.
No, that's already been the answer, because they didn't ask to arrest him. They called him for a conversation. You see, he was already assuming
the one that
he was
requested
arrested.
that
But
they should bring
our
the
guests have
warrant.
already said it. He was called for a just like you've been called several times, to have a chat. What is this about? Now he's saying arresting, now asking for a warrant.
It's
really
the propaganda we're talking about.
He's just using that to generate.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I have a tweet from Onyilola Akinwale. From my point of view, Jega should be investigated because he might have also been bribed.
Definitely.
Let me quickly say something there.
That's the tweet. That's the tweet.
It should be investigated.
Like I told you,
Yes.
it was very convenient for the newspapers to shout the next day, "Oh, Jega says don't expect a perfect election," because that's what the politicians want you to hear. So at the end of the day, if you are outrigged, you say, "Well, Jega said it before, and so we were massively rigged." And what we're seeing here, it's beyond the ordinary. The politicians are not telling you, look, this is what we are going to do differently. Now they are complaining about a timetable that why should the presidential come before the governorship election.
What do you think?
And initially, it doesn't really matter which one comes first.
Are you sure?
I do agree it
Look,
does
let me
matter.
explain it to you. What we should be looking at is the time before swearing in. Before now, we hold elections in April, and swearing in will be in March, in May. Now you're having election in February. You have March, April.
To contest whatever you want to.
To do whatever you need to do at the tribunal, at least get, midway. It's a process that, and Jega is telling us also that, look,
But the people don't
But do you
You
think
automatically vote for
do you
it.
think that this planning, the way they just planned
Do you know?
it will
See,
not be favoring the governor?
Let me reverse it. Let me reverse it.
Exactly.
If APC wins the presidential election that is going to come first, will the opposition complain that no, that this shouldn't have been the case? They won't complain. They will tell you kudos to INEC. This is the beauty of democracy that the people have. Just the same way. Quickly, let me round up. Just the same way. Every party any party that controls any state. Go and check. Once they conduct local government election and they sweep the pool, they'll tell you it's the beauty of democracy. The opposition will cry foul. That's what you're saying here.
All right, let's go to Barry.
See, the question is, if Jega had said there was going to be very perfect, flawless election come 2015, what would have been your reaction?
I would not believe him because of what we have seen play out previously.
Now, if that is the case, why are we crucifying the man? If you will not believe him, if he's coming out to say we're going to have the best of all elections.
After all, he who said that, and what did we get?
Now you see, yes, thank you. In short, he went to the extent of saying it's
even if that would be the last thing he did.
Now you see, the fact remains that we have institutional problems.
But you see, as a visionary leader,
not just INEC.
Yeah.
Now, if you are going to say at his level, he should know what is happening in Enugu. He should know what is happening in Bayelsa. He should know what is happening in other states. What you are simply saying is that he should become omnipotent, omnipresent, which is not possible.
We have to round up.
Let me quickly,
sorry. We have to round up.
Let me take it down to the grassroots for you to truly understand.
Let me just take
You have REC at the states level,
Yes.
that usually wreaks havoc, at that level. And then you have the EOs, the electoral officers at the local government level. And before now, what you have, lack of funds. Once a REC is posted to a state, is received by the governor of that state, is housed by the governor, his logistics is provided by the governor. But now INEC is saying no. Once a REC is posted, they provide logistics, accommodation, and the rest. And so to that extent, some of the REC are being a little bit independent. And then the EOs at the local government level also are controlled largely by this same politician. And who controls the police also, prosecute or not prosecute, is the same politicians.
All right, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we can't take any more because we have very, very
Thank you very, very much.
I was going to ask the question, what should we expect, but I guess we can't really take
part 2 of this one.
We have to do the part 2 because it's continuous, Don't forget to watch a repeat broadcast. Thank you, ladies. Forgot to thank you very much for the show. Don't forget to watch a repeat broadcast of the show at 11:30 p.m. tonight. And you can also watch previous episodes from our website, tvcontinental.tv. Go to the YouTube section and look for your view. And global statistics report that 3,000 people die daily from road traffic accidents. Please wear a seatbelt and obey traffic laws. It saves lives. God bless you. See you tomorrow morning. Thank you, sir. Thank you.